I fucked up the boss too, dude. Dude, the boss was at 13%, and I was like, I got this. Supers me in the face, and I die.
You serious? Well, who was
Yeah,
it? What
dude,
was it?
it was Infinity War Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
His
that's
first super
AIDS.
is unblockable.
Yeah. They did a
Dude, I
shit
had I
still
had
more.
complete control over that fight, dude. Like 100%.
Mhm.
Like I was managing my health. I was managing how much time I blocked. When did I intercept them? How did I intercept them, dude? I had everything on lock. 13% in it, I just died. Okay, so favorite anime of all
Oh
time?
wait! I gotta start the intro. All right. Here we go,
No, 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 no.
boys.
I mean, like that's the topic.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you
yeah, the
just
topic.
okay,
Topic.
okay,
Yeah. Oh
okay.
God. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the first episode of the Final Frontier podcast. This is the first video on the channel, so it'll be a little weird. So I'll start things off by saying I am the creator of the channel. My name is Malik Skinner. I'll be your host for today, and my co-host is.
What it do? I'm right here. The name is John Vidal. I'm Hispanic. I'm Hispanic, so that name is kind of weird. It's all
Yeah,
good. We all get it.
I'm biracial, so it's pretty diverse up in here today.
Heck yeah. Dab on the haters. Dab, dab. I.
But
So.
oh, I got you,
Never
buddy.
mind. No, no.
All right, so basically the podcast is going to consist of, or basically the channel as a whole is just going to be like an anime slash gaming comic channel, nerd shit. We're just going to be talking about all that stuff. But I will upload some gameplay of, I got some Jump Force gameplay ready. I'll probably put it for the background of this video while we're talking. If you guys just want to watch that instead of us, which is totally fine. But yeah, so the first topic for this podcast is our favorite anime. I don't know how long this is going to take, but hopefully 30, 40 minutes, but yeah. So, we could do our top. I'm going to do my top 3. You can do your top.
Alright.
It doesn't. You can do whatever, yeah, but.
I'll do top 3 as well.
Alright.
Just to keep it, symmetrical.
Yeah.
Ye-
Alright, so you go ahead, buddy. You do,
Okay,
let's
so
go from. Oh.
do you want to go back to back?
Yeah, we'll do.
Do you want to go back to back or just
Yeah, we'll start
all
at our
three?
third, and then go up from there.
Oh, third. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you, dude. My animes aren't really that much ranked in. I could tell you 3 animes that I like a lot.
Yeah,
But like,
mine was Decision was
not.
hard as well, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm gonna
Go
start.
ahead, dude. Go ahead.
I have my number 3. So this anime isn't really. It's okay. Personally speaking.
Yeah.
I like to critique a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna tell you that this anime is kind of bad, but I liked it. It was pretty fun. There were some very emotional moments in there, and it's actually for those who like horror type of anime, it's
Oh,
actually pretty good.
is it Death Note?
Uh,
I'm gonna guess.
no,
I'm gonna
it's
get like
not,
3 guesses. So it's not Death
no,
Note.
it's not Death Note.
Soul Parade.
Nope, it's not Soul Parade.
Ah, shit, I don't even
Not
think that's
Soul
an anime. I think I like sold something. I don't remember. But shit, what is it? Horror?
You sure it's not
High
Death
School
Parade,
DD,
bro?
dude. Oh yeah, Death Parade. There
No.
you go.
No,
It's
it's
not
not
those
Death
3.
Parade.
High
No.
School D. No, I'm just kidding. What is it?
What is my anime? All would like to know. Okay,
Yes,
so the
please.
anime that I like. Oh my god, dude! It just slipped my mind. Give me a second. Give me. Oh my god, dude! It literally just.
Is
Shoot.
it like the main character a guy, like the protagonist?
Yeah. I mean, they're all guys.
Yeah, true.
Dude,
Wait, look
oh
at
my
Lucy,
god,
dude. Lucy was freaking protagonist of Fairy Tale. No one knew until like 200 episodes later. It's like, what the
Yeah, that's true, dude. I was kind of very surprised.
Oh, anyway, getting off topic. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude!
What
What
were you
is
about to
it?
say?
Ah! I can't remember. Give me a second. You gotta give me a little bit of time right
I
here.
got you, buddy. You had a good day so far, though?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know,
That's pretty
chill,
good? How was
chill.
school, dude?
It was pretty good. It was pretty
Yeah.
good.
What was you about to say?
Nothing too special though. Give me a second. Ah, it's not. Ah, dude, what
You can do
is
it, buddy. I believe in you. You said horror, alright? Is it Durara?
No.
I haven't watched that. I heard it's pretty good. I might have to try it out. I just.
Future Diary. Oh my God, I can't.
Oh, dude, I
Dude.
never finished that. I got like halfway through it and I stopped. I don't know why, but it was pretty
Okay,
good from what I watched. So explain
I
your
I
reasoning.
I apologize, folks, for saying. Okay,
It's alright. We're all
so
humans.
for my reasoning for liking oh my God, dude, Future Diary. Uh, so Future Diary was definitely different. It was very
Oh
different
yeah.
than the anime that I've seen so far, and up until that point, I hadn't seen a lot of horror anime. I was very much into action, very much into like shonen, not fairy tale, Naruto,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, the good old classic. So Future Diary really introduced something very different to me. I've only seen the animes. I haven't read any of the manga or any
Mhm.
of that. I've only ever seen the anime, and I really like the beginning concept of it. So for those who don't know, the concept of or the idea behind Future Diary is about this kid named Yukitaro. I think it's
Yeah. All I
Yukitaro.
remember is his name was like Yuki. Like his nickname. That's all
Yeah.
I remember.
So his nickname is Yuki, and it's about this kid that keeps all of his diary about what happened in his life in his phone. And then for some reason there was a god that was that was dying, and he was trying to
Mhm.
find his next heir, and there were 12 other contenders, and I think it was 12, and
Yeah.
out of these 12 only one would get the power that he had to become god. And so he was brought in, and I like the concept of how his diary, his phone would tell him what would happen, and
Oh yeah,
it
that
was
is right.
different for all 12 of for all 12 of the other contenders, and they
Mhm.
were all battling it out, and they were all killing each
Yeah,
other,
some of
and
those
it
fights were
was
lit. Yeah, I remember a
yeah,
couple of
some of
them.
those fights were really good, and I just like the chemistry that there was in the anime. I
Yeah.
also like that it was like everything that you like, bouncing titties, like, oh, that was actually
What?
pretty good.
Oh, almost forgot about that.
But yeah, there was that kind of stuff, and so it really gives you a really sense of like this kid just literally like getting his whole world turned around, like him just getting the power to see his future through his phone. It just gets overwhelming for him,
Yeah.
you know. And then throughout the whole series of like 25, 26 episodes, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
it was
you
like
get
pretty
this,
short, yeah.
yeah, you get to see that throughout this time, he went from being a shy like nobody to like having to take on all these burdens that he had. So he had to kill everybody in order to become God,
Yeah.
and he didn't know or didn't. What do you mean? He didn't want to kill anybody, but one after the other, they just started dying, and he just started becoming one of the few people that were left. That he knew that he wanted to win so that he could bring everybody back. And his partner, you know,
Mhm.
the girl, the interest,
Oh
was
yeah.
pushing him to become the best, to become the one, so that they could both both of them could become, I guess, the Almighty.
Yeah.
But what Yuki didn't know was that was actually from another timeline, I guess you could say.
Oh
Yeah, it was from
really?
another time. Yeah.
Oh shit, I
Oh
didn't know that.
shoot, I'm spoiling
That's
everything. I'm
fine, it's fine,
spoiling.
dude. Spoiler warning, 2 seconds after spoiler,
2 seconds. Just
it's fine.
if you want to go watch, it's actually pretty good. But this is
Yeah.
why I feel like it would make more sense if why I like it a lot. I thought it was a pretty good anime, but in other people's eyes, it wouldn't like be as good because of the aspect that they just brought out of nowhere the concept of the other world. Like there was another timeline. They just brought
Yeah, I remember
that
him like,
idea.
yeah, he went like into like a dimension or whatever. Like with his, I'm not sure if he used his phone or There's like some kind of the giant god where like all the players like met or something. That's
Yeah,
all
all
I
the
remember
players.
from
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
there was that. So you could understand that there's a God that, but like
yeah.
the idea that there's another timeline and that there's another one. For all those who like Marvel or like DC,
Mhm.
um, hip hip hooray for DC because it's better than Marvel in the comics. Everybody
Hey.
knows that the live action movies are a lot better than
Yeah.
DC, but that's neither here nor there. Off topic. The
Yeah.
problem is that there was never any introduction before that point of there being a possibility of an alternate timeline. And that's what really, like, in my mind, feels like that's like they just brought in this concept from out of nowhere that they didn't really they did good on it, but they at the same time did it because they only used like the top layer. When you open the world to, you open your mind in the anime into it being multiple timelines,
Mhm.
then it's just, I feel like you could go a lot deeper than that, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
where they failed.
100%.
It
Yeah.
was good. It was good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the manga it goes further, or maybe in the manga there's not
Oh yeah,
even
true. I
any.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Manga might go more in
So
depth on that stuff.
this is definitely not canon if the manga does not go with it. I have not read the manga. I apologize for those who are like, oh, he didn't read the manga. He's only an anime watcher. Yes, you would be correct that I am an anime watcher.
It's pretty good
Only.
representation of the comments that are gonna
I,
be on this video later on.
I like it. I like it. I know, dude. Heck yeah. I bet. So, yeah. It ends,
Did you
It's
finish it?
pretty it's a pretty good twist at the
Oh.
end.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
finished it. Yeah.
we'll we'll let the viewers decide. But as of
Mhm.
right now, that is my number 3 pick,
Whoa,
Future
dude.
Diary.
That's a pretty good pick. I'm about
I
to one
know.
up yours. All right. All right. So you
I
finished?
bet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You had to take a sip of water too. All right. So my number three is kind of how do I say this? Is pretty obvious. If you haven't seen it by now or heard of this, I don't know what Rock you've been looking at, everybody, but it's Naruto. Now, before I go on this tangent of why it's number three, it's because it was the first. Now, it could have been number one, but Naruto was the first anime slash manga that I ever got into. I remember seeing it on Toonami when I was like 6 or 7. I remember seeing the episodes and stuff. Then one of my friends had I don't remember. I think it was one of the Microsoft Naruto games. It was what, Class of a Ninja or Rise of a Ninja? I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, he started playing that, and I really liked it. I was like, whoa, I gotta get more of this. And then lo and behold, I remember that day too. I was in Walmart, me and my mom, and I went to the book section, and I went to like the comic manga section, and fucking
Yeah.
Naruto. That's when the first 3 ones of that came out, and I was like, I have to get this like now. And I was like in 5th grade. So like I read the manga, the first like 3 volumes, and then I started watching the anime on YouTube. That's when I first like figured out what is subbed and dubbed. Hello, what is this? And so that's how I got into Naruto. So why is it my number three? So the synopsis of Naruto. Well, I'm just gonna say that real quick that Naruto counts as Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. So if you guys get all technical,
So
that's why.
you're talking about the whole
Yeah,
arc, all of
yeah,
it?
as a
Okay.
whole, yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, sip of water. All right. So Naruto is a story about Naruto Uzumaki, who's like who's a ninja. Basically, the world is about ninjas and how they're separated into different clans, not clans, but villages, and yeah, clans. Yeah, you can say clans. But the story is about Naruto who wants to become the next Hokage. And so the first part is just him like learning how to become a ninja, all the jutsu, and going up in Team 7 with Sasuke and Sakura and Kakashi and all that, and just him learning the basics of what it means to be a ninja. And it ends with, spoiler warning, Naruto fighting Sasuke and Sasuke leaving with Orochimaru and all that stuff. And Sasuke going with Jiraiya and training and all that. It starts, and then it picks up in Shippuden where Naruto comes back from the village. I don't remember. Remember when the first episode of Putin where they were like running in Orochimaru's hideout? Is that like canon, or is that just there?
Oh, well oh my bad.
Are you good?
That episode is showing the future.
Oh
The
yeah,
end
that
of
is
the
right.
if I'm right, it's the end of the season or the end of the second season. But it's like the point where they found Sasuke, and then they just went from episode I think 2,
Mhm.
retracing all their steps back to the point of when they got it at the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. When they got there. So
Yeah.
yes, it is canon.
Alright, so after that, it goes from when Naruto comes back to the village, him and he meets everybody after they I think it's like a 2 year gap, a year gap. I think it's like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they meet up. They do that. They save Gaara. I'm just giving you a quick synopsis. And blah blah blah. Hidden Elite Village. Go boom. Next war starts. There you go. So why is Naruto my number 3? So Naruto, compared to the other two that are on the list, it could be higher, but I'm not gonna see why. But it's just action-wise, it's still one of the like fucking amazing shows and all that. It just sucks that it ended, and I know there's the guy who created it, Masashi Kishimoto. I know he's writing a new manga called Samurai 8. It's coming out later this year. I can't wait to read that. It's gonna be pretty good, hopefully.
Aye.
But compared to the other two, Naruto could have been number 2. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll talk about number 2 in a bit. But I personally like Naruto, but yeah, I can't really think of anything.
So you feel a deep connection with Naruto?
Yeah, it's just compared to the other two, to me, it's personally not as good. Not saying that Naruto's horrible in any way. I fucking love Naruto, but that's about the reasoning for that. So yeah, Naruto is number 3. So what about you, buddy? Number 2.
Alright, so mine's are okay. So I'm gonna say that my anime aren't as well known as yours.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's for sure.
100%.
Future Diary. Imagine I even forgot the name of Future Diary, but yes. Yes. So my next one is it's quite a mouthful. I was actually very debating while you were talking about Naruto. I was over here debating on which one it would be. So my number 2 spot for sure. This is my number 2 spot for sure. It's called The Legend of Legendary Heroes.
Whoa, I haven't heard of this one. This would be interesting.
Okay, The Legend of Legendary Heroes. I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis. I'm not gonna spoil too much, and I'm not gonna give you the ending just because I kind of forgot a little bit of it. But what I do know is, no, it's pretty old. It's pretty old. I saw this 2-3 years ago, I think. So yeah, it's not really fresh in my memory, but I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I do remember, and I'm gonna tell you what this. For starters, this anime has 12 episodes. It ends. No season 2, or if it has a season 2, it stops at 24 episodes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But after it stops, it continues on in the manga. I can tell you this because I was gonna go and start reading it, but I'm not much of a manga guy, and at the time that I was reading it, at the time that it came out, well, not that it came out, that I watched the anime, that I was going to switch over to the manga, I was like, I kind of want to watch another anime, and so I just stuck with watching anime and never got to the manga. I think it's pretty good. Now, here's the okay, so it's a story about this guy that doesn't take anything too seriously. It's a magical world, like wizards and like people use armors and to enhance their magic abilities. And so this guy, I mostly picked this because of you, because of your choice of Naruto, because this main protagonist, his name is Reiner Lute, Rynerlute, Reiner Lute, and he has. I think he has like forbidden eyes. I can't remember the exact, because they named it something that was like like supposed to strike fear once people would hear it. I don't remember what it is, but he has this like pentagon in his eye that it allows him to copy every magic that anybody has near him.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
And it's just like Sasuke's Sharingan
Mm-hmm.
that he's allowed to, but he can only copy magic.
Ah,
He can
okay.
only ever copy magic, and he can only ever copy magic, and he meets this woman named Ferris Eris.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's kind of
Nice name.
yeah. So their interaction is kind of weird because they start. I think she was hunting him down, and then they became friends to find a single goal. And throughout this entire journey that they had, Ferris had no feelings towards him, like nothing. But then she started developing them
Mm-hmm.
towards Reiner, and Reiner here. So this eye that he possesses, it allows him to copy all magic. If he were to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he goes berserk at
Mhm.
one point because of this eye being too powerful, and he's just able. It's a gruesome anime when it comes to that point
Yeah.
because it's like his eye, just like you can just see like a laser beam. Like it looks like he's just looking with his eye, but like the laser is supposed to signify that, oh, that's where he's looking, and he just massacres people around him, just swipes their heads off, and throughout this journey he was trying to figure out like his place in the world, his place towards it, and it's really good. I recommend it because I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a lot. It's a mouthful and it's a lot to read. I mean, it's a lot to type out.
Yeah, there
You
you
were-
go.
Yeah, and there's that, but I believe it's actually a pretty good anime. So I think there's like a war going on. There's a war going on, and so like
Oh.
if I do believe, and I apologize for just speculating because I really can't remember,
Hey, dude,
guys.
it's
I'm
fine.
I'm
fine.
sorry, but Reiner has I think one of 6 different eyes that are pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
If I give you a second,
Fine, dude.
I could find this.
Oh yeah. Quick reminder, not reminder, but FYI, I'm not counting Boruto as Naruto. That's a whole another series. That on its own it's alright. There's like 1 or 2 good things about Boruto, but other than that, I personally don't like it that much. But yeah. Oh,
Alright.
back to you, John.
I bet. Okay, so Reiner has I think one of 6 eyes, and there's another person that's an antagonist, but in reality, you could see that these guys because there's like a lot of children that are born with these eyes, that are
Mhm.
born with like the forbidden eye, that are outcast, and you can see that Reiner comes across a little group, and well, he comes across a guy, the leader. I can't remember his name, but he had the eye, and he was able to absorb magic through his eye, and he was able to like absorb different types of magic through his eye, and then he would be able to become stronger. I don't remember if he's able to use the magic that he stole, or if he just boosts his own magic and his
Yeah.
own physical abilities. And he comes across him, and then they hunt him down, and then they find this little hut. They find this little place where they find a whole lot of outcasted children, and see that all of this like trouble that they've gone through, all of this violence that they've gone through, that they've been outcasted. And then you see that the antagonist that Reiner was fighting against was actually the one that saved all of them. So you could take it that, oh, he's a hero, like,
Yeah.
because he's only protecting his people. But you could also say that he's going to great lengths to protect them. Like, he's going to absurd lengths to protect them. He would kill anybody that would get close so that they wouldn't find him. And I think it's a pretty good anime. We'll say that the sub is definitely better than the dub if you're trying to
Usually, yeah.
listen to it. Yeah, the sub is definitely better, but if you wanted to watch it in dub, I personally didn't have a problem with it. Maybe a couple people here and there. Maybe Ferris was a little too much high pitch, in my opinion. Or maybe she was too manly. One of the two. But, yes. It's actually, I like it a lot. It's pretty good. I do recommend it, because it just shows that the anime itself shows that there's always different sides to every story. There's always like, oh, you can outcast those guys and be like those are monsters, but you can also see it through the eyes of the ones that you say are monsters that are not really like, like they're just misunderstood. They didn't choose to have these powers. They were just
Yeah.
born with them, and that's what they have to live with.
The the weight on their shoulders.
Yeah,
That
but
reminds me
yeah,
of.
I
Oh,
recommend.
you good? Yeah,
I
finish
recommend
it.
it. The Legend of Legendary Heroes. It's actually pretty good. I might give it a little rewatch just because I remembered.
Hey,
But heck yeah.
that reminds me of a show I watched years ago. I don't remember the name of it, but it's where it's like there's a world of magic, and this guy who's like a normal guy just gets teleported into that world by this I think this is a witch, yeah, a female wizard, and she becomes like his slave. Not his slave, but he becomes her slave, kind of. But it turns out that he has like a magic, like a really powerful magic ability, and he like
I know
uses
what you're
that
talking about.
shit. It's an older show, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know what you're talking about, dude. Give me a second.
It's like I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but they're like in a wizard school too. It's pretty good. I never finished it. I got like through the first season. That's where I was like only watching dubbed anime, so I didn't like want to watch the rest in sub. But from what I watched, it was pretty good. If you guys want to check that out, don't remember the name of it, but yeah.
Don't give them much to look forward to. I,
All right, so my number two, which I'm just gonna say it is Bleach. All right, Bleach is my number two. All my top three are like well-known shows in manga. Bleach was my number one, but I'll talk about my number one in a bit. I'm gonna list some honorable mentions too, John. You can if you want to, but I'm gonna do that after number two. But so Bleach. If you haven't heard of Bleach, which is I can see why Bleach hasn't been like in the scene that much recently, as of late. I did hear a rumor that they might bring the show back sometime this year. Don't know if that's true or not. Be great if they did. Love to finish that. But Bleach was the second show. No, let me lie. I'm not gonna stop. Dragon Ball was my second show that I got into, but Bleach was, I believe I was in 8th grade when I started watching it. I was like recommended it by one of the, I forgot what YouTuber, but it was, when I started watching it, it starts slow. I'm not gonna lie. Bleach has a slow start to it, but it builds up to like some great, amazing action story scenes. But what else? Basically, oh yeah, the synopsis. So Bleach is about a high schooler named Ichigo Kurosaki, and basically there's the world of the living and the Soul Society, basically where the Shinigami, the Soul Reapers, live. And one day he meets a girl named Rukia who's a Soul Reaper, and a Hollow, which is like a monster that has basically like a soul that's become evil in a way. Not sure how to remind that, but basically they haven't gone over to the other side. Basically they haven't basically died. No, they died, but they haven't like gone to heaven. And so Ichigo, who's just a normal guy, the Hollow attacks him and his family, and Rukia's like, she can't defeat it, so she gives him her powers in a way, but they actually manifest into Ichigo's full power because, spoiler alert, Ichigo's like has 20 different powers in him. Not literally, but he has a lot of different powers in him. And it turns out he's actually part Soul Reaper, so his powers like naturally manifest, and so he defeats the Hollow, and he defeats him, which was known as a Zongpakto, which is basically a sword that has its own spirit, and each one is specifically matched to the Soul Reaper's own. Well, I forgot what is. Like, I think it comes from their conscience or soul. I don't remember how it's made, but basically that. And
yeah,
each one
from
has its
conscience.
yeah, and each one has its own name and different power and different shape and all that. It's really cool. Basically, and then Ichigo trains to use his Zanbakuto, which is Getsuga. No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember.
Zangetsu?
Zangetsu, there you go. Thanks, Sean, my boy. Basically, he trains under Urahara to save Rukia, who's been kidnapped by the Soul Society and taken back. So he trains, he learns how to use Bankai and Shikai. Basically, Shikai is the first form after you use your sword or your Zanpakuto. It turns into a Shikai form. And then if you're really skilled and know how to control it, it goes to Bankai, which is basically the second form, which is the most powerful form that you can go to with your Zanpakuto. And then, so he saves Rukia, they come back from the Soul Society. What else? And then Hueco Mundo arc, it's my favorite arc, is to where basically the Hollows, Aizen. Oh yeah, so let me get to it. Protagonist is Aizen, and antagonist, my bad. And he goes to Hueco Mundo with the Hogyoku and transforms some of the Hollows into what are known as the Arankar, which are basically Hollows that now have like a humanoid shape, but are still part Hollow, so they can transform at will and all that stuff. And so he has an army, not an army, but like I think it's like top 10 that are like around him as like a console, console in a way. And so Ichigo goes to Hueco because they captured Orihime, which is one of his childhood friends. Blah blah blah. He saves her. Defeats a couple of the Arankar. Aizen goes to Earth. I mean, I forget the name of the town. I think it's like, I don't remember the name of the town, but he goes to the town, attacks it. The Soul Reapers come. It's like a big ass little battle. And Aizen and Ichigo for the final battle. It's a really good fight. One of the best fights in anime of all time, in my opinion. They duke it out. Ichigo wins, but spoiler, he loses his powers, so he has to he doesn't know what to do, so he just becomes a normal kid again. But basically that's Bleach. I'm not gonna talk about like all the the arc after that. I'll let you guys get into that if you haven't watched it. Bleach is fucking old. Bleach ended like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it ended quite a while ago.
But Bleach is fun, man. If you haven't watched Bleach by now, please do. You'll like it. I know it starts off slow, but a lot of anime start off slow at the beginning. So if you give it a shot, you'll like it. Bleach hasn't been in the best of late, but yeah, that's Bleach, man.
Heck yeah.
All right, John.
Okay, so I just want to is the anime that you were talking about before the Familiar of Zero?
Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah, there it is. So the anime I was talking about after John was the Familiar Zero. Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you guys want to watch that, check it out.
Yeah, just leave links in the description to the Wikipedias, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so this next anime, not my favorite, but for sure one of my top
Are you doing honorable mentions, or are you
time.
just going straight to the number one?
Oh, you want to do honorable mentions?
No, you don't have to. I'm going to, but you don't have to. You can do it.
Oh, I can give you some honorable mentions of the anime that I've watched.
Go ahead, buddy.
So, okay. So, one of the best anime. Well, in my personal opinion, definitely a good anime that I've watched. The Irregular at Magic High School. I'm pretty sure that's what the name is. I would have to check back. Give me a second.
Is it a newer show? Or a manga or
It's not really new. All these animes that I've mentioned already all are out. They all have, some of them have dub, others have, yes, so it is called, others have dub, others. This one in particular, well, when I watched it, I do not know about now. It didn't have a dub, probably has a dub right now. So it's the Irregular at Magic High School, and it's about this duo, a girl and a guy, brother and sister. Definitely good. You notice that the brother is overprotective of his sister, does anything he can to protect her. The sister has high magic power, but is very naive. But the guy, he doesn't have very high magic power, but he's very knowledgeable. He has a lot of. He's very intellectual. He has his own his own corporation
Mhm.
where he builds magic. He builds magic equipment that people use, and people only know him as an alias, so they don't know who's the actual guy that builds stuff. They just know the alias, and that's him. I can't remember the alias right now, but definitely a good anime to watch. Very powerful. It's magic school, of course. He's there still in school, and they have like a little tournament, I think, or like it's like a yearly thing where they all demonstrate who's the top school, and he
Yeah.
participates in. Very overpowering, for sure. That's been one of my honorable mentions. Do you want me to do all of my honorable mentions?
Yeah,
Like
go
I just
ahead,
got
dude.
like two.
Yeah, it's fine.
Two more. I'll do
Take
two
your
more.
time, buddy. Ugh.
Uh, okay, here we go. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that one.
Yeah.
So here we go. The Asterisk War.
Ooh.
Asterisk,
Mhm.
asterisk, and then war. You guys know how to spell. And you guys have me now to spell. So the Asterisk War is it is a war per se, but it's more about these characters, about how they're in a city, in an academy city. Uh, it's like, okay, give me a second.
You're fine, dude. I'm looking at my
I so
anime list right now.
yeah. The Asterisk War. It's about this it's about this place, an academy, and in this academy, there's different people that come from different places to become, skilled in magic. And this guy in particular has little to no magic. The only thing that he has is his ability to. He has enhanced stamina, and he's a swordsman, so he's able to use his sword to get by the competition. And so his partner, give me a second, I gotta look at these guys' names because I can't remember them off the bat.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so the main character's name, Ayato, and Ayato is the guy that I was mentioning before, and his partner is Julius. She's a queen and empress. I think, no, she's a princess to be queen in her native town or native country that's very small, and she went because like every year there's in the Academy City there's a festival where all the
Yeah.
top competitors there that all the top competitors compete. All the top competitors compete. All the top competitors are there to compete against each other to become like to go to a bigger tournament, to be like chosen to go to a tournament that will give them a lot of money. And Julius is there to get the money for her town because she may be a princess, but they're like very lacking in money, and that's what her desire is, to win the grand festival. And
Yeah.
Ayato is there to help her in her journey, because Ayato, if I do believe, Julius saved Ayato's life, and then she became grateful. He became grateful to her, so he said that he would help her in anything and everything he could.
Mhm.
So her dream is to win the festival, and his is to follow her. And there's, like you all know, romance in between the two of them. And yeah, if I do believe this anime stops and then it goes into manga or a novel. I'm not quite sure though, if I'm being honest with you, which one it goes to, but it goes to one of the two. I think it goes to a novel. It's a novel series, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's my number two honorable mention. Just a
Oh.
little quick. One last one.
Mhm.
Ooh, this one was definitely a contender for number one in my opinion. So this one goes with a certain. It's called a certain magical index in English. I do
Whoa.
not know what it's called.
I was gonna watch that the
It's
other day. I was like, nah, I won't watch it yet. I heard it was pretty good though. I might check it out.
a certain magical index is about this kid Well, it's about this little girl
Mhm.
that's a priestess, and she's a priestess, and she knows all of the spells and stuff. Well, this is a world where there's science and then there's magic, but the people that are scientists, they believe that the magic that's happening is can all be related to science in one way or another.
Mhm.
And it's actually a really good anime because so we meet this guy, Kite, his name. If I'm,
Mhm.
you can just bleep that out.
Yeah, I got you, fam. Malik, keep that in the video. Uh,
Okay, give me a second.
Very good, buddy. Gotta look up these facts,
So
boy.
it's
Ooh.
so it's like Cal. I don't. So his name is Tomo.
Mhm.
Toma. Toma. His name is Toma, and Index is the girl that he stuck with. So this guy, this main character Toma, he has bad luck, completely bad luck, like the worst of luck. Like
Jeez.
there's nobody in the entire city that has as much bad luck as he has, and he's in this city where all the special people go to,
Mhm.
all the people that have powers go to, and that's where they go. They take studies, take schools to see their rating and all that. But and then he meets this Index. He meets Index, and then they figure out that he's so unlucky because even the the graceful gestures of God, he cancels out because of his right arm or his left arm. One of his arms cancels out any and all magic abilities in any sort. Like he can cancel out a bunch of stuff. He can cancel. I think at one point he cancels the electricity of one of the other characters, and he's able to cancel everything out. So any blessings that God would bestow upon him would just be canceled and turned into bad luck, which is mostly why he has such bad luck. And it just goes on like him, like the last anime that I mentioned, that he goes and helps Index remember. I mean, not remember. Go through her mission, and they just have like a good, honest, good relationship with each other. And it's a pretty good anime. I suggest. I could give you more facts, but in the description down below is where all the Wikipedia stuff is gonna be,
That's right.
and so you can just check your
Check
information
the
there. I
description.
certain description, and it goes to 2 seasons, and then there's 2 other seasons that are spin-off seasons about another character. I think there's a third, a fourth, fifth. I'm not sure though. I am not 100% sure. So those are my honorable mentions.
Very
Uh,
nice. Very nice.
yeah,
Let me go ahead, buddy.
yeah. You can go ahead and you do your
Alright, so I have a
honorable mention.
couple honorable mentions. They're not as big. Well, some of them are as big as the two I just mentioned. But so the first one up is it's a show I just finished 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. It's called Mob Psycho 100. It
For
is
sure.
phenomenal, dude. If you haven't watched it, it's by the guy who made One Punch Man, which is another one of my honorable mentions. It's about a guy named Mob. I forgot his full name, but basically he lives in a world where there are basically what are called espers, which are people who have psychic powers, but they can like see ghosts, and it's kind of like Bleach in a way, but he can like use those powers. Basically, like the Force in like Star Wars, where he can like move stuff around with his mind and stuff like that. It's really fucking dope. The animation in that is off the charts great. That and One Punch Man like are basically they're the same for me when it comes to honorable mentions because they're both made by the same guy. They both have a fantastic story. Characters are amazing. Um, but yeah, that's basically it for that. Another one is JoJo Bizarre Adventure. That is a very variety, a wide show. Basically, it splits up into different generations. So the first two are about Jonathan, Joestar, then it's Joseph, then Jotaro, Josuke, and all that. So basically, the first two parts like set up for the rest, where it shows like the grandfather and the great grandfather of Jotaro, who have basically the antagonist for the first three arcs is a guy named Dio, and he's a vampire. And the Joestar family is like, I haven't watched the first two parts, so it's like kind of odd for me to like say that, but you can read the manga. But the basically in part three is where they introduce stands, which are like they're like other people who don't have stands can't see them, so they're like the uh physical form of their like conscience. So it's kind of like a Zanpakuto, but each one is different and unique to the person, and so they fight each other. Jotaro fights to get Dio because Jotaro his grandfather Joseph Joestar, who's from the second part, is his grandfather. So they go fight Dio and all that. I won't spoil any of that stuff because this is really good. The fights in that show are phenomenal. I'm playing. I have Jump Force gameplay in the background, which in one of the games I do play Dio and Jotaro. So if you guys see that, there you go. So that's another honorable mention. The next one is, let me see. What did I say? I said that. Oh, My Hero Academia is really good. If you haven't watched My Hero yet, another one. I don't know where you've been all this time, but My Hero's like all over the place now. I'm like one episode away from finish season 3. Season 4 comes out, I don't know when. But it's really good. It's about a guy named Deku or Midoriya, who lives in a world where everyone has a quirk, which basically has superpower, and so he goes to he's basically a nerd who like writes down all the powers everyone has and all that stuff. And one day he meets All Might, was basically like the best hero around, and All Might gives him his power. Spoiler alert! And that he then joins the UA Academy or I don't remember, UA High. Basically, it's a high school for heroes in training where they train the heroes to become heroes, basically. So that's that. Let me do one more honorable mention. I can go like for forever on these. Let's see. Last but not least, Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail will be my last honorable mention. Fairy Tail is. I know a lot of people say it's overrated. I enjoy it because I like fighting and stuff like that. So I'm a very shonen boy, if there's a word for it. But Fairy Tail is basically it's about Lucy, who I thought it was about Natsu, but it's about Lucy, who is a mage, and she but basically it's about a mage named Lucy and how she joins the Fairy Tail Guild with Natsu, or one of her best friends, and all that stuff. And so yeah, that's that. Those are my honorable mentions, dude. You may now go to your number one.
I bet. So my number one, it's not my all-time favorite,
Yeah.
but it is definitely one that I think is pretty good. It's definitely in dubbed. 12 episodes, not that many, but carries over to the manga for sure. This is called The Sacred Blacksmith.
Ooh.
So this it takes place in in a place where it's been after war, and I believe it's in olden times, back when there was no TVs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So just like a bunch of blacksmiths, just making swords, katanas, and all that kind of stuff. And so that is what blacksmiths do, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
they make weapons and armor and shit like that. They
I
work with metal.
Yeah. Okay, so it's back in the olden days. So this is so this takes place a little bit after the war. I think like 30 years, something like that, after the war. Do not quote me on that, by the way. This is all at the top of my head. It's Okay, so it's about this girl. It's about this girl that is one of the she's one her heritage goes back decades and like well of course it goes back but it goes back to where her great grandfather if I'm not mistaken was one of the founders of the cities
Hmm.
and she takes very much pride in that and she says she's going to become one of the best knights. That's her road is to become one of the best knights. Her name is Cecile Cam Campbell Cecile Campbell, and she's like well known, like everybody knows of the Campbell family. And the episode starts off, well, the anime starts off with her and some monologue, and then it's her trying to stop an old veteran from causing a scene in one of the markets, and she was outclassed and outmatched, and then comes in the savior,
Oh.
the the one guy, the blacksmith that the story is, named after,
Yeah.
Luke Ainsworth. 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 Yeah,
Ainsworth.
he's a Ainsworth. Luke Ainsworth, and he's like skilled. He's a blacksmith, and so he outmatches the veteran and saves her, and in doing so, she's impressed by how good he is. And so later on, he goes to his hut, and she follows him, and she asks him to help her become better, to make her a sword like his, and he was like, no. And throughout this entire series, you could see that there was just a lot of conflict between them that he didn't want to do something for her.
Hmm.
But it also goes deep into where he didn't want to make anything for her because he didn't feel like he was a good blacksmith. Like he felt like he had let down because in this also future, I mean not future, past, there's also like demons, and people make demon contracts so that they can become stronger demons, and people use swords to seal these demons away. And he had to make a sword to seal a demon away, but he couldn't. When he made it, it broke, and it wasn't a good sword. And so he has looked down upon that, and that has brought him down. Like that has messed with him in a mental level to where he's not able to produce good swords anymore.
Hmm.
So he doesn't feel confident enough. And so throughout the series, you could see, well, it's 12 episodes, it's not a lot, but you can see that he changes because of Cecile. C- yeah,
Yeah.
Cecile, I think it is. Okay, she changes because of Cecile, and he changes, and he's able to do make the all-powerful sword that is to trap one of the big bads, like one of the bad villains. I can't remember the name, but I know that he terrorizes the town, and then they steal him. So there was a lot of conflict, and she grows as a character too because she used to be all stuck up that she was going to be the best ever, and she quickly found out that she was not that good, and it would take a lot more effort than what she had to become as good as she wanted to be. And I personally recommend it, The Sacred Blacksmith, for sure.
Hmm.
Definitely a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Hey.
For sure. For
Very
sure.
nice. All right. So, trying to have to go this one really quick because I can only record like what, like 6 more minutes worth for a podcast. So, my number one is One Piece. Just to get out of the way, I know people are gonna be like, "What? One Piece? Yeah, what? Yeah." But if you give it a shot, you'll see why. But so let me start this off. So I started watching One Piece, believe it or not, back when I was watching Naruto. I watched the first 6 episodes, and as a kid, he was like, "This is really cool." And then I don't remember why I stopped. I always stop like mid like show whenever I'm watching the show. I always stop, but I came back to it years later. Not even years later. I think like 2 years later. I was in middle school, and I started watching it from when I picked up where I left off at, and they went to Arlong Park where they saved Nami and all that stuff. But One Piece is about Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be king of the pirates. He gathers up his crew and he sets sail for the Grand Line, yada yada yada. But I'm not even gonna lie. From the first arc to about Alabasta, it is really fucking slow. That show is slow to start up, but after that, it gets so freaking. Oh my, it gets so good, dude. Oh, I could go on like forever talking about One Piece, but the lore in that show it's you can talk about that stuff for hours. The characters, their backstories, yeah, but where they're at now, oh my god, Katakuri versus Luffy, one of the best fights I've ever seen in a show. Not even gonna lie, hands down. Um, Powers, basically, there's these things called devil fruits, which people eat, and depending on what type you get, there's three different types. There's Zoan, Paramecia, and Logia. Logia being like element type stuff. Paramecia is like physical stuff, and Zoan is like an animal fruit. Um, my favorite character is Whitebeard. It's my dad. I'm not even gonna lie. I like to flex with him and stuff, but yeah, that show is fucking phenomenal, guys. Please check it out. But yeah, that's my number one. But that's gonna do it. That's be it for this podcast, guys. This is our first one. We'll probably do more. Probably like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Once I like figure out like how to edit it and what to do for this stuff like that. I'm trying to get better mics so that way the quality's better.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We
try
want the
to-
best for you guys.
That's right, dudes. Please subscribe to Final Frontier, anime, gaming, and all that stuff. But yeah, guys, that's about it.
Yeah.
Hope you guys like
And-
it. Oh,
You can leave your comments in the down description below to see what you want us to talk about.
yeah. If you guys have any like suggestions for like what is it, topics to talk
Animated
about?
movies.
Yeah, movies,
Anything.
anime, anything you guys want to talk about. Please leave in the
What you want
description
us to
below.
talk about.
Or comments,
For
yeah,
sure.
for what to talk about.
We will say that we are not very well.
Yeah, this is our
knowing,
first,
so-
yeah, our first podcast. So if we sound weird, I don't talk this much, like a lot. So I'll try to get used to like talking more out. So if I like sound talking fast or like sound weird talking, I'm not. My brain will say something and my mouth will say like totally different. It'll go like off topic weird, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Guys.
It's all new to us.
Mhm. So like check the description for the links for the shows that we mentioned, and yeah, guys, love you and have a great day, dudes.
Dab for the
Dab on the
haters.
haters. Yeet yeet.